pickups or trucks, as people might call it in America, they haven't really been a popular segment in India. Well, the problem has been that no one has really been that serious about the segment like Isuzu has done right now with the D-Max V-Cross. Now what you're seeing here with me in the background is a full-size pickup from Isuzu, the D-Max V-Cross, and well, as you can see it, when it comes to road presence, it doesn't get better than this. There are SUVs, there are tons of SUVs in the market, really large brute SUVs, but when it comes to this, in terms of road presence, this really takes the piece of cake. Now when it comes to the design of the V-Cross, what you get here is a very dynamic front. You've got this chrome laden grille, and well, in terms of size, it's really massive. It's got this long protruding bonnet, and all of it really is intended to give the vehicle a muscular stance. Just in case you still aren't convinced about the road presence or the dynamic appeal of the V-Cross, this is the angle you really need to see it from. Now if you look at the side, well, of course it's a tall vehicle. You can see these huge wheel arches. You've got these befitting 16-inch wheels here on both ends. Of course there's this double cab, and you've got these roof rails. The main point of attraction for this vehicle is the loading bay area here, and again you can see it's got this massive wheel arch, which means there's a lot of clearance. When you go off-road, there's a lot of room for the suspension to move around, which means you can go about a long way when you're off the road. This loading bay itself is huge enough, so this should really be the reason why you're buying it. There's a lot of room. You can probably even put in a small motorcycle diagonally, or a lot of camping stuff, and go around for a weekend, and this is something that no other vehicle can do. Now when it comes to the rear of the D-Max V-Cross, well, of course you have this huge cab area where you can really place a lot of stuff. Accessibility is really easy. You can just flip it open. It's sturdy enough. You can put in a lot of weight, so if you're going out camping, you want to keep a lot of stuff, well, it can handle all of the load. In terms of space, again, it's a really deep area. You can place in a lot of things in here. The only thing that I feel could be a little uncomfortable for people is that pickups are really not a popular segment in India. So I at least don't see myself being very comfortable placing stuff in an open area, and we all know how popular vandalism is in the country. So keeping your stuff and going off, well, that's a risky proposition. So only if you're going out camping or something, well, the space can come in handy. But if you're going to pick someone up from the airport, just imagine having a load of bags placed here. Someone stops at the red light, picks up a bags and walks away, or goes on a bike. What do you do? But then again, what's the point of having such a big loading area and not being able to use it if you don't feel safe about it? Well, Isuzu has an option for that. They'll sell you a hardtop cover, a cover which will cover this entire area so that all your belongings stay secure. However, that isn't a cheap option to choose, because it will almost set you back by another 1 lakh rupees if you opt for that. Now, while I told you earlier how comfortable the cabin is and how the material quality is, let me just take you through the entire dashboard a little bit more in detail. So we've got this touch screen here. Well, fairly easy to operate. The touch response is pretty good. You've got the climate control controls in the center. It's a rotary control. Well, looks good with all its display. In terms of cubby holes and spaces, again, there are bottle holders in the door pockets. You can place 1 liter bottles on either sides. Here as well, you can place in a small bottle. You've got this ashtray here, a cigarette lighter here, small cubby spaces around. So overall, a fairly comfortable place to be in with a lot of space. Around here, when you look at this knob, you've got the 4-wheel drive system control, which gives you the option to toggle on the move between 2-wheel drive, 4 high and 4 low, and we'll put that to test in a short while. What one really misses, and especially on a vehicle of this size, is a reverse parking camera. Now, on a vehicle this long and this huge, one really needs a reverse parking camera, and unfortunately you don't get one here. So parking it into tight spots can be a bit of a bother at times. While the cabin is well appointed and decent in terms of quality, what about comfort? Well, again, the Isuzu D-Max V-Cross is surprisingly good in this aspect as well, despite being a pickup. In terms of space, the front seats are good. You've got good cushioning on both the seats. Then again, you also have good headroom. Of course, it's a tall vehicle, so headroom and shoulder room shouldn't be an issue at all. So occupants even 6 feet taller would find it absolutely comfortable to be in this vehicle. Now let's talk about the rear bench. Now, when you try and enter, well, of course, the door is small, so people of larger frame might have a problem entering in. It's quite high, so, and again, the space for entering the rear is a little narrow. So once you enter, well, things improve. The seat is fairly comfortable, however, the under thigh support is not much, and the backrest angle, although decent, isn't really suited for long journeys. So don't expect the kind of comfort levels you expect from an SUV of a similar price bracket. But then again, comfort is not the reason why you would be buying the Isuzu D-Max V-Cross. In terms of headroom, well, you've already had a look at the size of the vehicle, so it's obvious that headroom and the legroom, well, not much of a problem. So overall, yes, a spacious vehicle, not that comfortable, but again, yes, does the job pretty well. Now let me take you through some good things about the cabin. Well, you've got these ISOFIX mounts, which is a good thing. You can place in those child seats for your child's additional safety. You've got this center armrest here, so yes, makes it a little more comfortable for two people sitting at the rear. The not so good bits are, you don't have any rear AC vents. Well, of course, it's not that huge a cabin, but then again, it's still fairly large, more larger than a hatchback, so rear AC vents would have helped cooling. And again, the plastic bits at the rear, well, they are a little bit iffy. Now if you look at the cup holders, this is quite flimsy, so this comes across as outrightly cheap plastic and doesn't really feel as if it's going to last for a long time. Now when it comes to the driving experience of the D-Max V-Cross, well, this pickup is powered by a 2.5 litre turbocharged diesel engine. It's a 4-cylinder engine. It develops 132 horsepower and 320 Newton meters of torque. Now these are reasonable numbers from a competition perspective. The vehicle moves effortlessly. Well, there is, if you talk about lag, well, there is not much turbo lag. However, it's got good low end response. Towards the top, once you cross about 3,500 RPM, the power starts to taper off. The gearbox, well, it's a 5-speed manual transmission. It's got the old school feel to it, so it vibrates a lot and it's got really long throws. But then again, it's not too hard to manage in terms of operational ease. It's an easy gearbox to use. The clutch itself is quite light, so if you're stuck in heavy traffic, it shouldn't be really hard to drive this almost monster-sized vehicle. In terms of ride quality, again, well, it's got a decent ride quality. The only problem is that at the rear you've got leaf spring suspension setup. Now what that does is that when you're going over potholes or bumps, it's got that choppy ride quality. It's harsh, but if you load that deck up, if you've got some weight around, it improves a bit. So yes, not exactly a luxurious or a comfortable vehicle, but then again, it's not supposed to be one. It does the job effortlessly, and it's pretty decent in terms of comfort as well. Well, the engine itself, it's got the trademark diesel clatter to it. It is loud, so there is a fair amount of engine sound that creeps in, but still it's not really that bad. The only problem with the overall driving experience is that it doesn't feel refined. It's got that old school clunkiness to it. Now, if you're someone who loves SUVs for that old school feel, well, you're going to love it. But if you're someone who looks for a more modern vehicle, a lot of refinement in the powertrain, all of that, well, that's not something you'll get here. Now, when going off-road, the D-Max V-Cross is a fantastic vehicle to be in. It's very capable. It's got a four-wheel drive system, of course, so you have the option of switching over from two-wheel drive to a 4-high, and if the going gets really rough, you can switch it on to 4-low as well. Overall, the wheelbase is quite long, but that doesn't really affect much. It doesn't really impede the off-roading capabilities because it's got massive ground clearance. It's got huge wheels. The wheels there's a lot of suspension travel, so there's room for a lot of suspension articulation as well. So if you're going off-road, if you want to go on a camping trip, on an adventure trip, well, it's the perfect vehicle to be in. You've got loads of space to put in your tent, your food, your weekend luggage, and it'll almost go anywhere. So there you have it. After a days of hard play in an off-road environment, we've come to the end of this video. Now, to sum it up, well, how does the D-Max V-Cross fare up? Is it a value for money buy? Well, for 12.8 lakhs ex-showroom Delhi, there's a lot of stuff you get in the vehicle. It's a large vehicle, it can seat 5 adults, you can go off-road, it comes with a decent engine, it comes with a car-like cabin as well, which is, if not supremely comfortable, it does offer you all the basic comfort that you would expect for that price point. So, for the money, well, it's an exceptional vehicle. It's a lifestyle choice, it's not a vehicle which you will choose for just for the sake of buying something, buying a large SUV. It's only for those who are looking for a lifestyle which demands a vehicle with this kind of a large loading area and truly supreme off-road credentials. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Also, do subscribe to our channel, and for more on auto news, reviews, views, please log on to www.expressdrives.com. Till then, drive safe, follow all the traffic rules. Thank you.